New tonight, a 13-year-old murder case is back in court.
A conviction being challenged after a witness says Orlando police and a prosecutor now on Casey Anthony's case pressured her to identify a shooter, and that convicted killer is serving life in prison. But as investigative reporter Tony Pipitone found, that could change if a judge believes what that witness is saying now.
Did law enforcement frame Benjamin Smith for murder?
Would you have done that at any place?
No.
And why not?
You'd put me in jail.
They deny it, but the only eyewitness now claims her identification of Smith as the shooter was coerced.
They knew I wasn't sure, but it was like, I ain't gonna win with the police officers in the state of Florida. So I did what they wanted me to do.
Okay.
And that was pick him out.
Saying Smith killed 15-year-old Glennie Tapley in February 1996.
He was my firstborn child, and he was more precious to me than anything.
Angel Whitmer talked to me in 1997, 18 months after her son was shot through the heart. While confronting a car burglar after a monster truck show at the Citrus Bowl.
10 times a day at least I think about that night. Always.
And she was thinking about it again last week as Benjamin Smith tried to persuade Judge Bob LeBlanc to toss his life sentence and order a new trial.
And you're asking me to simply believe that the law enforcement would fabricate and coerce this witness into a false identification just to get a conviction.
Accusing now retired Orlando Police Detective Glenn Gauze and prosecutor Jeff Ashton, who's now trying to convict Casey Anthony of murder.
Why would they lie in court? Well, for the obvious reason, to avoid going to federal prison if that's what they did.
Or so says Massey Jackson Paldo.
I was under the instructions of the state attorney and Detective Glenn Gloss. So when I stood
without
on the
necessarily
stand,
saying that at this point, we're not here.
That's the reason I did it. I did what I was told.
Picking Smith out of both photo and physical lineups in 1998, but only, she says, after Gauze hounded her for over 2 years, causing her to lose a job.
Yes, I was frustrated. I was more scared of anything at that point, though.
And is it fair to say that you just figured if you told them what they wanted to hear, they'd leave you alone?
Yes.
And arranged to get her a $3,000 crime line reward, which she claims Ashton told her to conceal from the jury.
It never happened. I didn't have any information about her having any money.
And about that allegedly coercive lineup?
Did you actually threaten to put her in jail if she did not pick out Benjamin Smith from the physical lineup?
No, sir.
She's lying about that. The evidence would indicate that she's lying about that.
As Judge LeBlanc decides who to believe, consider this. Paldo, one of 5 people brought to OPD to see the physical lineup, claims others were coached to pick Smith, who was number 4.
The next one that comes back says it's number 6, tells the rest of the crowd. It's number 6. She doesn't say anything. The next one goes in, comes back out and says, no, dummy, it's not number 6, it's number 4. You picked the wrong one. Everybody picked 4. Everybody picked 4.
But there's a big problem with that. Look closely at the photo of that lineup. There were only 5 people to choose from. There was no number 6. So there is no way anyone could have mistakenly picked a number 6, as Paldo now claims. Judge LeBlanc must order a new trial if he believes Paldo's claims are credible, newly discovered evidence that would have likely led a jury to acquit him. If not, Smith remains in prison for life. And by the way, last year, a Tapley family friend also shot that night in 1996, died of his injuries. So now, Jackie, 2 people were murdered on that night.
So when will we know what happens?
Well, the judge said he will issue his ruling within 30 days, so we should know soon.
All right, we'll wait for that. Tony, thank you.
Okay.